Hey, what's going on, everyone? I thought this is going to be a good Friday video because this can help out a lot of people. A friend of mine, Matt Peral, who I even went to school with, he messaged me, and I know he's traveling a lot, doing a lot of travel photography, videography. He even mentions that he's going to Japan. It's freaking awesome, in a couple months. And he had a couple questions for me, and I could have answered this in a really long email, but because I do YouTube, because I like to give advice in any way that I can and relate it to what I went through starting out, getting into the industry, I felt that it would be great if I could share, longer form with Matt and with you guys out there as well, because when one person asks one thing, it can help out a ton of people, and that's how I really learned as well. So let's really jump right into this right now. So Matthew asked me, he goes, he said, thanks for, getting back to him and everything like that. So I want to know if you have any advice for social media and website organization, if there are any ways that you use to streamline that sort of thing for photography and making it easier to keep track of. Well, the one thing and most important thing I'd say is you need to get a line of work. You need to be able to show someone that you're at least attempting to get into something, to show that you do have experience, that you could show your work, because everyone can talk the talk, but until you walk the walk, cliche saying, then you won't be hired, and you need to back up what you can do with showing your experience. So one of the first things I'm going to say is definitely show your line of work. Getting a website, getting off of like a free website like freewix.whatever.com and all that kind of stuff. Getting some kind of website, getting a home where you can get someone to go to. I eventually got my own site like this. Am I fully happy with my website? No, there's still a ton I want to do with it. But where I brought it from, I had a stupid GoDaddy template that just was simple, was easy to use, but it looked horrible. I tried looking for a screenshot that I had to show you the difference from that going to like a WordPress. A better website works, but you need some place to call your home. So buy your domain name, mattperal.com, or whatever kind of business you're getting into, your tagline if you want to do that. So that's my thing. Start to establish a portfolio of, what you're doing. As I said, I know you're traveling a lot, Matt, and I feel like you can start categorizing things, your travel photography, mixing it with portrait photography, street photography, so stuff like that. So gather together portfolios, and, as I said, I've seen some of your work as it is. But, really the key now, in 2014, and this is where YouTube has actually really helped me, and it's just being active and, working on your SEO, your search engine optimization, and it's just being searchable. If you could be searchable, if you search my name or, other photographers' names, you'll come up first now, and you have to, and it is almost a necessity, and you're traveling, so this could actually really work for you, and it's to blog or vlog or do something that will get you active. So, tell photo stories of what you're doing, even if it's just like 4 or 5 images of you went to this city or you went to this town in Japan or whatever. Tell certain stories through that. Get people coming to you that, I tried people to my YouTube, my website is more or less a portfolio for now. But I want people to go to my YouTube channel, so that's what I drive them to. So getting social, being active is really important nowadays because it gets you seen, and that's the only way you do it. So you got to be really active. So that's my advice for social media, pretty much overall. Get your line of work out there. I know you've done video too, so get that together in a set, or break it off however you want. But, as I said, blog. Sorry, I have to cut. I got to keep drinking water. So hopefully I answered that well. Just be active and just start doing things. It's pretty cool when you do that. You could develop a little bit of following, especially traveling. It's freaking awesome. I hope to do that soon as well. But then Matt also asks, also generally getting freelance work. Are there any specific resources that you use to find jobs or suggestions that you have for starting out to build a good network? Now, this isn't the easiest thing to answer because you start with nothing. I mean, we graduated, from the same school, and you come out and there's nothing, for the most part. But one of the things I did right away was really bank on friends and family and some of my teachers, because I picked up photography while I was towards the end of my schooling in college, and I just asked the teacher, hey, can I come assist? And that's how it really built from there. Matt, that's Chuck. So I assisted him in photography, and then I really started to get into that a lot. And video, I just, it kind of linked out from there. It's just about who you know. So you can kind of connect, even if you connect with someone from school or someone who, recently graduated. I've worked with some of my old classmates as well, and that kind of got my name out there a little bit. But what really, really helped was friends and family. We didn't necessarily have the most, 100%. We're doing a ton of stuff right away, but here and there, little family shoots, little things for the friends and family. And, I did them free at first because you do it. Well, first of all, it's family, typically that's how it works. And, I like to do that, but also, they'll put it out on Facebook. They'll put it out on, some of their other stuff. There's people that blog. So freelance, it's really waiting for your next gig. You're like, oh my God, when is that phone going to ring? But that's really what you have to do. Work with friends and family, especially friends. You can definitely build a portfolio that way, even, overall, with portraits and headshots and things like that. And you can really start to give yourself some content and, keep it going from there. So once you're there, once you're on jobs, start building a network. Get to know makeup artists and other photographers in the area wherever you're at. If you can, email them, ask if you can assist, or just get really intrigued. If you're really intrigued by someone's work, see if you can, just shadow under them. So did I make any mistakes starting out that beginners should avoid? And on the flip side, was there anything that worked particularly well for me? Well, actually, one of the biggest things was believing right away that you needed to have the best and the better gear, and that will definitely make your quality, better. Because I had my Nikon D3000, which is a really, really entry-level camera, and I thought that was the end-all be-all, and that's what it was going to be. And the next newest one came out, the D3100, and bam, I wanted to get it down because that's better. It's got video. I need it 100%. When no, it's about glass. So that's one thing I'm going to avoid. And another thing is thinking that just because you have a website that you're going to be searchable and that people will come to you to find jobs, because that ain't the case. That's not going to happen. People don't just come to you, and that's just really unrealistic. I think maybe, I've got one random thing, and YouTube has obviously helped me because it does establish some kind of credibility, but, that doesn't happen. So those are some huge, two huge things that, I thought that was going to happen when I began, and that's not the case. So what worked particularly well? What worked particularly well was me just, not being afraid to ask for money. Now, yeah, does that sound greedy? No, because one huge mistake a lot of people make, it's underselling themselves. It's being afraid to ask for what they deserve. One of my first weddings I ever shot, a couple years ago, I didn't ask for, what I do now, but you have to be able to ask for that $1,000, $2,000, mark sometime in your life, or you're never going to survive and make money off of it and get what you're worth. So that's something that's been well, and that's being really confident in my work, being confident that I can ask someone for something that I feel I can deserve. Once again, that's where your work backs you up. And lastly, are there any resources that you find yourself going back to often for reference on the business side, or are there any photographers who you look to for reference? Well, I'm going to mention two photographers who I follow. One's more, he's become more of a video guy too, and that is Chase Jarvis. He inspires me a lot, and I aspire to be, something like him. I mean, he's created, Creative Live, and it's just been, the way he just approaches things, he's a go-getter, and it's just freaking awesome. So I love Chase Jarvis. I recommend him. And in regards to lighting, Zach Arias, I love his style of lighting. I mean, the simplicity he does, which, just the one light setup he does. That's who I really look up to, and they both have a great business sense because, Zach Arias, he kind of started from nothing, lost everything, and then got to be successful to where he is now. And at Chase Jarvis, he just worked his butt off, and, he's extremely successful. So there's two people that I look up to and reference if I need some inspiration or help with things, especially Chase Jarvis. So is there any resources that I've found myself going back to? Not so much just on the photography side. I mean, there's a ton of things you can look up. There's a ton of people. A lot of people don't necessarily jump in 100% on the business side, but one person I really like is Gary Vaynerchuk. If you haven't heard of him, I think it's Vayner Media. And what I like about him is just his attitude and how he really drives business. And one of the biggest things I really learned from him is, obviously go out and do what you need to do. And this thing he calls the thank you economy. And that is, giving a little more of yourself to someone else in regards to you do a job, you throw them a little something extra. The prices you're charging, you're getting what you're worth, but being able to thank someone by giving them something a little extra they didn't expect is awesome. I've done this for wedding couples where I'll say, hey, I'll include a couple free prints, but I'll also give them a little something that they didn't expect. So that way they're like, wow, this is great. This is awesome. So, I guess that's who I look to in regards to business sense in general. So that's really it. That's all I have for now as well, Matt. And, hopefully I helped you out, and hopefully I helped anyone else out. I tried to keep this short and concise, but, once again, I said that I knew that this was going to be a big question. But if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comments below. Or even if you want to answer some of these questions as well as you see on screen, that would be awesome. Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye. Once again, hopefully I helped you out, Matt. Hopefully I helped someone else out as well. Keep an eye out.